Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Good rainy, wet morning, everybody. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, everybody? Alright, well, a change of scenery this afternoon. Hey, happy Christmas Eve. Oh, man, if you've been following along on my deer journal, you've seen I haven't had a lot of episodes this year because I haven't been seeing any deer. It has been dead. So, for the record, I haven't seen a deer now in 3 weeks. 3 weeks of hunting. And I have not, that's 10 hunts. And I have not seen a deer. Well, this morning, I came over to a different farm that my brother's been really trying to get me to go hunt on with him. And I went over, and when I parked my truck, there were 6 does standing where I parked my truck. I've seen more deer in the first 30 seconds of today's hunt than I have seen in 3 weeks on my farm. The deer have just disappeared. The drought, lack of acorns, everything just made the deer disappear. They're gone. Anyway, I'm up in this really old, large buddy stand over here. In a hardwood stand. I'm surrounded by oak trees. I actually found several acorns still on the ground when I walked in just now. So that's really surprising. That could explain why the deer are over in this area instead of over on my farm. Anyway, huge visibility here. I can see a lot. I can see a ton in here. Doesn't mean I can shoot everywhere, but I'm on the edge of a thicket to my southwest, and then everything else all around me is open timber. So let's see if we can get something decent to come through here to get a shot at. saw a deer, and I've hunted 10 days. Today makes day 11. That's unbelievable. Well, I ended up seeing those 6 deer when I parked this morning. I had 3 does. I think it was actually a doe and 2 fawns. Came walking through the thicket here beside me. They were only about 45, 50 yards away. But it's so thick that, I mean, I wasn't going to shoot it anyway because it looked to be a doe with fawns, but it was really so thick it was hard to tell anything about them. Well, then way up on top of the ridge, just below the crest of the ridge, there was a really dark-bodied deer side-hilling out through there, and I couldn't tell what it was, but it was way up there. I mean, it's, I don't know exactly. I'm going to guess it's 250 yards away, maybe. And all I could see was through a small opening where there's not a lot of timber. And I never could tell what it was. I grunted a few times and never got a response. So, anyway, my dad just texted. He's heading out. I think he saw 3 this morning, all does. My dad's buddy, Greg, was hunting over beside my dad, and he just left for the morning, and he saw 2 does this morning, so good morning, I think, for everyone involved, but I'm going to head out. I've got a cellular camera that I took down that I'm going to move over to my uncle's place over here in an area that is really difficult to get to, and see if maybe there's any deer using in there. So plan to hunt this afternoon, but we'll see if the wife has anything up because of just getting everything ready for Christmas coming up and family coming over. So anyway, I'll catch you next time. All right, everybody. So I need to add a little bit of context to the video that you just saw here from the day that I spent out hunting. This season has been extremely difficult, and I'm sure you've heard me say that in a few of the videos. This is the least number of Deer Journal episodes that I've ever done since I started making the Deer Journal. You know, back when archery season was going on, I was traveling a lot for work. I didn't get to hunt much. Muzzleloader season kicked in. I was traveling. I got to hunt one day during all of muzzleloader season. You know, it was just I had very limited time in the woods this year. And then when I was out, we just weren't seeing any deer. As I've talked about, the drought just wrecked the deer hunting around here this year. None of the food plots came in. All of my water sources dried up. And I'm sure the deer just left. I mean, we weren't seeing them. They weren't showing up on camera. So they just disappeared. I was getting pretty frustrated. And I was texting, you know, my buddy Danny over at T&D Outdoors, and I was telling him, you know, I'm just hanging it up this year. The deer are gone. I'm not going to waste my time. And he texted me back, and he's like, buddy, don't give up yet. You know, stay after it. I know it's very unusual. But he said a few things that really made me think. And one thing he said was, you know, I need to make sure that I'm not getting discouraged because, one, I'm not getting video for YouTube. And man, that one hit me. That one really hit me. Because then his next text message was, you know, would I have felt this same way 10 years ago of not seeing deer the way that I'm used to seeing deer? Because 10, 15 years ago, the deer population here just wasn't what it is today. And it wasn't uncommon to go weeks at a time without seeing deer. And, you know, him saying that just really resonated with me, and it made me start questioning some stuff. And so I decided I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out. And sure enough, I go out and, you know, I see 10 deer that morning set. And that was incredible. I mean, the deer, I was able to relocate where the deer had moved to. They left my farm, but they went over onto my dad's farm and the farms around my dad where there was still water. And I found quite a few acorns, and they were over there. And something that Danny and I were texting about too was, in all honesty, you know, I've allowed myself to get conditioned to hunting in the same places, the same way, the same areas, doing the same thing year after year these past few years, just because of my property management plan and what has worked over the past few years. Well, this drought was really unusual, and instead of adapting and changing my strategy, I just stayed stubborn, and I continued to try to make the same things that have always worked, even though the deer weren't here. And, you know, you can't just make the deer appear. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're some places where baiting's allowed, yeah, you can bait if things are changing to bring deer in. Well, baiting's illegal here in Tennessee, and I am strongly opposed to baiting here. Obviously, if it's illegal, I know guys that do it, and that's a whole other topic. But, you know, so when you don't have that food plot or water source or acorns or whatever to pull the deer in, doing the same thing over and over again just because it's worked in the past, that was really stupid of me. And, you know, I know better than that, and I don't know why I continue to think that way. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I really appreciated Danny texting me that, and just being, that's everybody needs friends out there that are going to tell them how it is, whether it may or may not be something you want to hear. And I really appreciate him putting that to me, because trying to be a YouTube creator, you do put a lot of pressure on yourself and stress on yourself to try to get more footage. You know, you want to get that kill shot, you want to see activity, you want to do things. And I know a couple guys that have started trying to do it, and they're really stretching the limits of what's legal and ethical in an effort to try to get video content. And I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that. But it really puts a lot of pressure on you that you're putting the pressure on yourself, and that's not necessary. Be true to yourself. Hunt, fish, do whatever the way you were, brought up doing it, the way I was brought up doing it, the legal, ethical way. Anyway, that being said, I'm out here today. You see the sticks back here behind me. We're pulling stands. Today is December 30th, so I still have 4 tags in my pocket. My son still has 6 tags in his pocket. But we're pulling stands. We're done for the year, and it's not we're pulling out of frustration like I was going to do a couple weeks ago. Our freezer's full. And, I've been fortunate that my dad and brother both shot bucks this year, and I butchered them for them, and they both gave me some of that deer for butchering it for them. I still had some meat left over from last year, and we've salvaged a roadkill here just the other day that put another, 30 pounds of deer in our freezer. And my freezers are absolutely jam-packed full between the deer meat and everything that we shoot around here. We save that we eat the groundhogs that we get during gardening season. I mean, we've got squirrels in the fridge, we've got bobcat in the fridge, we've got all kinds of frozen vegetables and produce that we grew in the freezers, and they're all just so packed full that I don't have any more room. I've got over 100 pounds of venison in the freezer. That's enough to get us through most likely till September when archery season opens, and we generally get another roadkill or two each winter that animal control or somebody calls us about. So I'm not worried about it at this point. I can't bring myself to hunt when I know my freezers are full and I don't have anywhere to put it. And I know a lot of guys say, well, you got tags, you need to go tag out. There's something out there in social media land where guys have this ideology that you aren't a proven successful hunter unless you tag out on whatever it is, turkeys, deer, whatever, every year. And that is not the case. That is very misleading. That is not the case. I hunt for food. Yes, I enjoy the adventure. I love the thrill of having an animal come in. I love getting them on video as much as I do hunting them. But I cannot make myself continue to hunt if I've got nowhere to put it. My brother's freezer is full. My dad's freezer is full. We have donated some meat to family that likes to eat deer meat, so I've already done that as well. So I'm just going to stop we are now shifting gears to trapping. I've got a trap set over here beside me, so we're going to start making some more trapping content. My daughter is big into the trapping thing. She's been doing it for past 3 years, I guess now, and we're going to start shifting gears into trapping because we've got coyotes showing up in, you know, groups. We've got, you know, several red fox coming through in groups, and bobcats, and we've got chickens, and the neighbors have chickens and goats, and we lost several goats here back in the spring to coyotes. So we're going to shift gears now and start switching over to trapping. And I mean, you know, there's certain things we trap that we can eat too. So we're going to have a steady influx of meat that we can eat for the next, you know, couple months through trapping as well, and roadkill salvages. So anyway, this is going to be it for the 2023 Deer Journal. You know, if you've been with me for years, I'm sorry for the lack of hunting content. That just, you know, when I took this new job, I knew it was going to have more travel. And, you know, that's just part of it. You know, I've got to provide for my family, and you've got to do what you got to do. You know, I'm sorry. You know, hopefully, you know, with the trapping videos coming up, and then turkey season coming up after that, hopefully I'll be able to get more content out there for you. But I appreciate those of you that have been with me for so long. You know, thanks for your encouragement. You know, I just look forward to trying to improve, create more content for the channel. Thanks for coming along. Have a happy new year. God bless.